If you think you've got to eat itty-bitty portions to go from this to this, take it from Tommy Lasorda. Try Ultra Slim Fast frozen entrees. Larger, more satisfying portions than the leading diet entrees without a lot more calories. Of course, they're sensible entrees that are low in fat. I could have one every day. So try our Ultra Slim Fast entrees. They're even big enough for me.
Ultra Slim Fast. Give us a week. We'll take off the weight.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, today.
Kellogg's Fun Pack. Choosing one is half the fun.
Presenting Wendy's grilled chicken filet sandwich, made with a delicious boneless breast of chicken, lettuce, tomato, and honey mustard, all on a toasted bun. It could be Wendy's best-tasting chicken sandwich ever.
You know it makes me wanna...
Shout Stick lets you pre-treat tough stains today.
Throw my hands back and...
Shout them out next wash day.
Kick my feet out and...
Shout Stick starts working right away. It saturates tough stains, penetrates clean through to keep stains from setting in till you're ready to wash them out.
You know it makes me wanna shout. Come on now. Shout.
Want a tough stain out?
Shout.
Shout it out.
Shout.
Its commitment stretches from coast to coast. It has engineering resources that are unsurpassed. It has the only biomedical research facility of its kind. It has helped save thousands of lives. It is the world leader in automotive safety because there's nothing in the world that matters more. GM Safety. It's not one thing. It's everything.
Wednesday.
I need to report another murder. Mine.
If your days were numbered,
Radioactive iodine.
would you make your killer pay?
This isn't the way.
Jake and the Fat Man. Then, they survived the police academy, but can they survive on the streets?
If you have a weapon, put it down now.
Rookie Cop, an all-new 48 Hours, Wednesday.
If you or someone you loved were raped, would you want the world to know about it? Private or public? Whose side are you on? With Charles Kuralt, Friday at 8:30. Dr. Christine Lipton is about to find out. Some medical secrets are better left unknown.
What am I gonna do?
Everything's gonna be okay.
But is the one man she trusts the one she should fear? Melissa Gilbert, Jack Scalia, Pernell Roberts. Done next Tuesday.
This is CBS.
Next at 10, the answers to some of your questions about today's sale of WCCO to CBS.
And the update on an apparent mass murderer in Milwaukee. Police carry from an apartment boxes of body parts from as many as 15 people. The story next.
It's time for the Go for 5 drawing with the Minnesota State Lottery. Tonight's drawing is being audited by Chuck Seltzer of the accounting firm of Schechter, Dock & Cantor. The Minnesota State Lottery official tonight is Jenny Bednarik. You win with Go for 5 if you match 3, 4, or 5 out of 5 numbers drawn. Tonight's jackpot is estimated at $100,000. Our first number is 36. The second number is 4. The third number is 1. Our fourth number is 30. And the fifth and final number is 26. The Go for 5 numbers for July 23rd, 1991 are 36, 4, 1, 30, and 26. Numbers drawn are not official until validated and certified. If no one wins the jackpot tonight, Friday's jackpot will be even larger. Good night and good luck from the Minnesota State Lottery.
The Pepsi Summit Chill Out gives us permission to let our hair down.
What is this chill out?
I don't know, but what else am I gonna do this summer?
It's games, promotions, fun, and free cars.
It's like Woodstock, man.
It's people in tight pants moving fast.
Here's the difference in black and white. The Walmart price. It's different.
Because Walmart is different.
Instead of relying on sales events, we watch expenses so we can give you the low price.
On every item, on every shelf,
in every aisle.
Always.
It's a promise we make each day. A promise we've kept for 29 years. The Walmart price. It's the difference between other stores and Walmart. The difference between sometimes and always.
These are tonight's headline stories on the 10 o'clock news.
A group of doctors says commercials like this one aimed at children should be eliminated.
Police find the remains of as many as 15 people murdered in Milwaukee.
And this building, along with other WCCO and Midwest communication facilities, is being sold to CBS.
From WCCO Television, the community's first choice for news in the 90s. This is Don Shelby, Colleen Needles, Mike Fairborn, and Mark Rosen. And this is the 10 o'clock news.
Good evening, I'm Cindy Hilger. Colleen Needles will be back in just a few weeks. Tonight's lead story is the sale of this station and other broadcast stations to CBS.
It's the final action of a local family's media business that goes back to 1891. In the mid-1980s, Midwest Communications restructured to pay cash to its shareholders, descendants of that newspapering family. But the changing broadcasting business and the recession cut into profits, causing financial problems. Alan Cox reports on the sale and its impact.
WCCO's parent had rejected earlier offers to sell, but after missing some loan payments, the company began negotiating in December with the network it had long been affiliated with.
Of all the companies in the country that would be ideal for association or union with this company, CBS is the best. So I'm simply delighted.
CBS has been hurt by some of the same broadcasting trends as WCCO. Network revenues fell 20% this spring, and the company is reducing its workforce by 10%. But CBS ratings have been improving in prime time, and executives say they admire the successes of their newest acquisition.
The challenge here is to not mess it up. The challenge here is for us to own these television and radio stations and have them do as well as they have done in the past years.
CBS officials took that message to a meeting with most of the company's 480 employees, many of them anxious to find out whether the belt-tightening and uncertainty of the last few years are over.
I think the indecision around that we've all been living with at the station has been going on too long, so I'm glad it's finally reaching a point where there's some conclusion to it.
Executives say they don't anticipate any staff changes at the CCO stations, but that those decisions will be left to local managers who will be expected to meet corporate goals. With the need to get federal approval, it may be the first of next year before CBS takes over the stations. Alan Cox, WCCO Television News.
The sale includes WCCO TV and radio, WLTE, W-Light, KCCO, KCCW in Alexandria and Walker, and WFRV TV in Green Bay. Now, later in Dimension, hear the answers to your phoned-in questions about the sale and its impact from Peter Lund, the CBS executive you saw in Alan's report. Cindy.
Another headline story tonight comes from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where police are investigating what may be a case of mass murder with as many as 15 victims. Since last night, authorities have been removing human remains from an apartment on Milwaukee's north side. The tenant of that apartment is in custody, and Esme Murphy has this report.
Police arrived at the scene just after midnight. They found the dismembered remains of what could be as many as 15 victims. Heads were found stored in a large freezer, and limbs were reportedly stuffed in drawers. In custody is the apartment's resident, 31-year-old Jeff Dahmer of Milwaukee. For more than a year, neighbors had smelled an overwhelming stench coming from Dahmer's apartment. This neighbor confronted him.
He told me it was the freezer. You know, my freezer went out again. My meat spoiled. He said, this keeps happening, you know. So I don't know what can I do about it. So I just throw it away.
Police were led to the scene by a man they believe was destined to be the suspect's next victim. He managed to escape in handcuffs and flag down a passing police car.
The two officers were stopped by a citizen who had indicated to him that, that he had been approached by an individual taken up to his apartment and actually handcuffed and threatened with a knife.
Many of the remains were reportedly dipped in acid, making it difficult to determine the identities of the victims. Police say all of the victims appear to be adult males. They believe some are from outside the Milwaukee area. The suspect was convicted in 1988 for sexual assault after drugging a 13-year-old boy and then taking pornographic pictures of him. He was released on probation after writing a judge that he no longer wanted to contribute to, quote, misery in the world. People here are wondering how the human misery that happened in this apartment building went on for so long undetected. Esme Murphy, WCCO Television News, Milwaukee. If there should turn out to be 15 victims in this case, it will be one of the worst mass murders in U.S. history, but still far below the number of victims attributed to John Wayne Gacy of Illinois, who was arrested in 1978 for the murders of 33 men and boys.
And in another ongoing murder investigation, a man from St. Cloud was charged today with a triple murder. Dale Robert Steinbuck is now charged with the murder of his wife and 2 daughters. Steinbuck was arrested in Shell Lake, Wisconsin. He's refusing to return voluntarily to Minnesota, so Governor Arne Carlson will have to make a formal request to have Steinbuck extradited. Now a follow-up to the story of a New Brighton man who was killed when a rock crashed through his windshield. Maynard Bloomer was killed yesterday when a 35-pound rock was dropped from an overpass on I-94 near Eau Claire. 2 juveniles are in custody. Today, Eau Claire police tell us that they recovered a bowling ball in the same exact area where they found the rock. Authorities believe the bowling ball belongs to the mother of one of the boys.
As they try to dig the mud out of their homes, flood victims in the town of Stockton got some mud in the eye today. Floodwaters hit the town Sunday night, destroying 2 homes and damaging 91 more. Gerald Johnson's home was one of the hardest hit. Today, he and his neighbors found out they will not get a penny of federal disaster money. The damage isn't extensive enough to meet federal standards. Some low-interest loans may be available, however, but homeowners with mortgages say another loan would hurt more than it would help. Other local news, a fire tonight in South Minneapolis damaged the Vason Pet Supply Store and killed 5 animals trapped inside. A parrot in this bird cage, a cat, and 3 guinea pigs in this glass box were killed in the smoky fire just after 7 o'clock tonight. The cause of the fire is still being investigated.
Another headline story tonight, a warning from the American Academy of Pediatrics that America's children are trapped within what the doctors call a tight ring of commercialism. 7 out of 10 commercials on a Saturday morning are for food, and the big majority are for candy, snacks, and breakfast cereal. The pediatricians say the cartoons aim to sell toys, and then the toys help sell cereal. Cereal that's often low in nutrition, high in sugar, high in cholesterol.
Television viewing has been linked to childhood obesity and at least is associated with high cholesterol levels. We believe that the consumption of foods advertised on television contributes to these problems.
And the pediatricians say these kinds of commercials exploit children and should be eliminated, but they're not calling on Congress to outlaw them. They are calling on the parents to pay attention to what their kids eat and to simply not cave in and buy whatever trendy new cereal their children clamor for.
A quick summary of some national news now. Today, President Bush told reporters at a cabinet meeting he was considering asking for a lifting of economic sanctions against Iraq. It's an attempt to help people facing famine and a lack of medical care. It's still under discussion right now. And the Pentagon says some F-16 fighter jets have cracks in their wings, and it will cost $500 million to fix them. Apparently, the problem is too much weight. They will be reinforced. And the shuttle Atlantis is ready to go for launch tomorrow at about 9:55 our time. Weather is a factor, though, with only a 50-50 chance of the right conditions at that time.
If you were one of the thousands who were at the International Special Olympics Games competition today, you saw some pretty inspirational athletes. One of the success stories was going on at the University of Minnesota's Bierman track.
And we again direct your attention to lane 1 of the track, where Adeline Koulibaly of Burkina Faso, 9 years young, will be finishing her 400-meter race walk event.
Well, a bit later on the 10 o'clock news, we will look at the other events in the Special Olympics today, including how some former twin stars gave a few hugs and a few tips on ball playing.
Next up in Dimension, Peter Lund of CBS answers your questions called in earlier about what changes might happen now that CBS is buying CCO.
And then later, a live report from Vikings training camp. Mark Rosen talks about kicker Donald Igwebuike's troubled past and his future in sports.
This is the 10 o'clock news on Channel 4.
What's in Chi-Chi's new Sonoran sampler? A grande burro and a chimichanga. Plus, ice cream. So for just $6.99, you get our Sonoran sampler for a song.
Chi-Chi's a celebration of food.
All you can eat lunch buffet, $5.49, Monday through Friday.
Lollipop! Licorice! Chocolate chip cookie!
Sweets. They're easy to cut down, but hard to cut out.
Hot candy! Upside down cake!
That's one reason why Group Health was the first dental plan to cover the use of dental sealants, which help protect teeth from cavities. Because even if you can't stop kids from eating things that they still can have, Group Health, the intelligent choice.
So, you got a new muffler today, huh?
Mm-hmm.
You go to the discount place like I did.
I decided quality was just as important as low price, so I went to CarX.
CarX?
They had the exact muffler I needed.
Well, yeah, but listen...
And a lifetime guarantee.
Yeah, but...
But how much did it cost?
Yeah.
See for yourself.
That's less than I paid.
Exactly.
Rattle, rattle, thunder, clatter, boom, boom, boom. Don't worry, call the CarX man.
For the Twins, number 47, pitcher Jack Morris. Number 44, designated hitter Chili Davis. Number 11, second baseman Chuck Knobloch.
It's Unical Autograph Ball Day, July 28th. For tickets, call 375-1116.
Twins baseball, reserve the edge of the seat.
Tonight in Dimension, the local tradition of WCCO television and what difference the sale might make to what you see on Channel 4.
We'll begin with the tradition. WCCO TV went on the air back in 1949. As Mike Walsher shows us, a lot has changed in television news between then and today's WCCO.
From the start, WCCO's scrapbook is a Twin Cities family album with local shows and personalities that most of today's adults grew up with. But from Cedric Adams on, Channel 4 has built its reputation on news, public affairs, and community involvement. The reporters, Phil Jones, Susan Spencer, and others, have become some of the most respected broadcast journalists in America.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight's news is headlined by the crash of an Air Force B-52 jet bomber on the August... Minneapolis city councilmen came to grips with it. St. Paul city planners and businessmen are at hope that the recession is receding.
From WCCO Television News, the Northwest Communications Center, this is The Scene Tonight.
And The Scene Tonight in the 1960s pioneered newscasts that were more than just wire service headlines. And it introduced verbal exchanges between the news anchor and sports and weather people.
The ratings didn't seem quite so important, and everybody was really being pretty casual about the whole thing. And I don't think we realized what we were doing at the time, that it was so much fun till you look back on it.
WCCO became the first local station to send a reporter, Al Austin, to Vietnam in the late 60s. His report, called Grunt's Little War, won numerous awards and established WCCO as the hometown station that brought the world home to Minnesota. The Moore Report in the 70s and 80s continued the tradition and passed it on to the I-Team in the early 80s. A new generation of anchors and reporters arrived in the late 70s. The station faced one of its biggest challenges last January, when, while negotiating the buyout with CBS, WCCO Television News broke away from CBS coverage of the first night of the Persian Gulf War and used compelling CNN coverage to better serve its viewers. Minnesotans have come to rely on this kind of journalistic integrity, But the CBS purchase concerns some observers of local TV news.
I would assume that they would, there'd be less bodies that the station could put on the street, less reporters and things like that. And they'd probably have to do more with computer graphics and that sort of thing. It's all speculation, but that seems to be the pattern.
CBS says that won't be the case. And longtime CCO viewers and those who appreciate what the station means to local news hope the new owner is right. I'm Mike Walsher.
Now, some of you longtime viewers had more questions about what will happen.
On our 5 and 6 o'clock news, we invited your questions, then put them to Peter Lund of the CBS Broadcast Division.
During the Persian Gulf War, you often preempted network programming with CNN coverage, and in my opinion, you had one of the best news coverages of the war that was in the Twin Cities. Is that something that can't happen anymore now that you're CBS owned?
How WCCO covers news events will be strictly up to the management of the station.
Whatever financial successes that WCCO and the other stations might have, if those financial benefits are going to stay with the local stations so that they can improve themselves, or if this is going to be something of a siphoning action.
Well, no, we won't change it to make more money. Obviously, we bought it in the hopes that it would continue to make money. But we think the best way for this station to continue to make money is to be run the way it has been run.
Would we be getting better news coverage and longer news periods for your parent station up here so that we get to know a little bit more what's going on in our area?
That's really up to the management of the television station. There's no reason that there shouldn't be.
Will we be seeing the same faces, or are we going to be seeing new faces on the evening news?
No, none of the on-air people, none of the broadcasters will lose their jobs because of CBS owning this television station.
It's my guess. That comes as something as a relief to a lot of us here. Again, the deal still requires government approval, so it may be 6 months before the sale is complete.
Hey, neighbor, here you're building a new F-Series truck at the Twin Cities plant.
Yep, a special edition F-Series just for the Northland.
What's on it?
Oh, great features, like air conditioning, tilt wheel cruise control, AM/FM cassette. Plus, it comes in 2 special limited edition colors. And get this, it even comes with big savings.
Sounds great.
It is, but best of all, it's built right by your neighbors in the Northland.
It's pretty rough up there today.
It's always something. Weather, traffic. Just means we got to be in control every minute. I'm just glad the Honeywell control systems help take care of the navigating. Besides shorter flight times and fuel savings, now we can really focus on flying. Anything that helps lighten our workload isn't a luxury. It's a necessity.
When people depend on you, depend on Honeywell.
Long distance for business. Yes, LDB does employ some of the best service professionals you will ever work with. Yes, you can use the high-quality networks of AT&T or MCI or US Sprint through LDB. Yes, LDB will send you a lower long-distance bill. Yes, LDB is the best long-distance company for your business. And yes, we would like the chance to prove it. Terry and I invite you to attend the games.
The tickets are free, the memories are priceless.
Yeah, Beth and I went out. We had a good time. She's a really cool chick.
Jeff picked me up and we went for dinner. Then for a drive by the lake.
Yeah, we stopped and talked and started, you know what I mean.
We kissed, but then he wanted to go farther. I said no.
Hey, when a girl says no, she really means yes.
I thought I could trust him.
When does a date go too far? Sunday on Channel 4's 10 o'clock news.
Have Mike Fairborn in here, and is the Doppler thing? Did you find out what CBS says? You can keep the Doppler radar?
No, we all came in early for the meeting, of course,
right.
The announcement.
Yeah.
My wife said, if you see a guy walking around with a duck bill and an umbrella, give me a call, will you? Get the resumes out.
I don't think CBS is into wacky weather.
Well, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, it's different, isn't it? To have that speculation overlay.
Oh, yes,
here.
thank goodness.
That's for sure. The weather's been perfect for them. They can't complain about the Minnesota weather, can they?
Oh, no.
Nah. Starting out in the morning is going to be great, too. When are they heading to the airport, anyway? Partly cloudy. Temps, well, low 40s. Yeah, we'll probably be somewhere a little bit warmer than that. Maybe around 60 degrees in the morning starting out, but it should be a very, very pleasant day. Story of the day today, well, just about anything that you wanted to do outside, the weather was perfect for it. Now, we had some fisher people out here doing some fishing. This is Lake Calhoun. Now, look at this. If you were actually out on, oops, that's what I would do if I were out sailboarding. Believe it or not, if you fell in the water today, it was actually warmer in the water than it was outside. We had a temperature reading from Lake Calhoun, a lot of sunbathers around there. Lake temperature was 80 degrees, while the air temperature was just a little bit less than that, a little bit unusual. Here's the weather guide today. We did make it up into the upper 70s, 78 degrees, a little bit below the lake temperature, 60 for a low, and no precipitation in the last 24 hours. Outside right now, it's just been a perfect day, a perfect evening, partly cloudy. That 68-degree reading is the lowest 10 p.m. reading we've had in 20 days here in the Twin Cities. I thought that was interesting looking back. Dew point's low, winds out of the west at 7 miles an hour, and just some partly cloudy skies out there right now. Satellite picture, we've had a lot of clouds to the south of us. The front that caused the showers and thunderstorms over us on Sunday has pushed to the south and stayed to the south for the most part. Some big thunderstorms down in parts of Iowa. You can see these thunderstorms building up across parts of Missouri and down into southern Illinois as well. And just within the last couple of hours, we've had some thunderstorms forming up around International Falls. Reports of wind gusts up there close to 50 miles an hour, some trees down, and some power outages in the International Falls area. For most of us, though, clear skies. Here's the showers and the thunderstorms. Threat of severe weather still in the eastern part of the country, but that threat is diminishing, too, as we get into the nighttime hours. Temperatures right now, it's already 58 degrees up at War Road, and temperatures in the northern part of the state and the northeastern part of the state could easily drop into the 40s overnight. Tonight, our temperatures will drop down into the upper 50s, a nice, comfortable night for sleeping. Here's the reason why. Big low pressure area just up south of Hudson's Bay, and this is going to continue this northwesterly wind flow in over us, keeping the hot air and the sticky air well to the south. There's a little tiny ripple in that, and we could possibly get a little bit of clouds and maybe some sprinkles here tomorrow night. Watch this little thing kind of rotate around. The best chance for any showers is probably going to be up in the Arrowhead area. In the meantime, a lot of high pressure still over the southern part of the state. We should see temperatures tomorrow warm again up into the upper 70s to near 80 degrees across most of the southern part of the region, and up the north, temperatures in the comfortable 70s. Here's the forecast. Clear and cool tonight, 57 for a low with northwest winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, just that chance of a shower or sprinkle late in the afternoon. 78 degrees for a high with northwest winds at 10 to 15, and maybe some showers lingering into the evening hours. Partly cloudy, but an overnight low tomorrow night of 56 degrees. And then for Thursday, mostly sunny, cool, low humidity, near perfect, 78 degrees for a high. Here's the extended outlook. Next chance of any sprinkles or shower activity will be on Friday. Daytime highs staying in the low 80s, overnight lows in the upper 50s to around 60, and right now the weekend is looking just about perfect with lots of sunshine.
Sounds good. Thank you, Mike.
What is billed as the state's second largest parade took a stroll tonight up Central Avenue in northeast Minneapolis. Hundreds of parade lovers lined the neighborhood's main drag to see the floats and hear the marching bands. Next to the Aquatennial Grand Day Parade, tonight's East Side Central Avenue Parade is the largest in the state, according to them, about 10 entries more than the Torchlight. Now, here is what the parade goers heard as the Minneapolis Police Band marched by.
Echo Water. For high-quality water in your home. For good-tasting drinking water, choose Echo Water. To improve laundry results. Echo Water. To make water the best it can be. Echo Water.
For 99 cents a month for the first 2 months, you can rent an Echo Water drinking water system. Call 1-800-545-1780 for the Echo Water dealer nearest you.
Clean, fresh air, a sparkling environment. It's one of the great things about Twin Cities living. But our quality of life and even the air we breathe is being threatened. Threatened by too much pollution from cars. Beginning this year, though, a simple annual inspection for Twin Cities cars will help protect our environment. Watch for details with your license tab renewal notice or call 884-8000.
High finance charges make purchases on credit extremely expensive.
At Best Buy, get 0% financing for 1 year on any TV, VCR, or camcorder over $250, including Panasonic.
Interest rates are astronomical.
0% financing on all TVs, VCRs, and camcorders.
If a low-interest situation presents itself, one should take advantage of it.
0% financing for a whole year on top brand video, including Panasonic. Think about it. 0% financing on all video now at Best Buy.
Any questions?
Research shows that bonding with animals can be beneficial to a child's development. Studies also indicate that many teenagers respond favorably to primal scream therapy. And recent evidence suggests that hydrotherapy can bring a family closer together. These findings can be summed up in one word.
We go down to Mark Rosen, who's down in Mankato for the Vikings training camp. But first, we begin with kind of a scare for Jack Morris tonight, right, Mark?
You're right, Cindy, and the ghosts of Tiger Stadium haunted Jack Morris again. This one potentially worse than the first time Jack Morris returned to Motown when he gave up 8 runs against the Detroit Tigers. Morris tonight lasted less than 2 innings in this one, thanks to this smash off the bat of Milt Kyler and off of Morris's right forearm. What a frightening sight. Remember the shot he took off his foot in the All-Star game. Morris walked off the field immediately with a bump already developing on his arm. X-rays proved negative, just a bad bruise. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Alan Anderson took over and looked like Morris in one regard. He gave up this 3-run home run to Cecil Fielder on an 0-2 pitch, a terrible pitch by Anderson. No more complaining, Alan, about not starting. Cecil hit one off Morris in the first inning. He has 26 this season, also leads the league in RBIs. Detroit winning 6-3. And one team trying to break out of a slump to make a run at the Twins, California. And that's not California, that's the Tour de France. And the California Angels did win this game tonight. Winfield and Gary Gaetti hit home runs as we checked the American League scoreboard. Bad news for the Twins because just about everyone in the West has won or about to win. Texas leading Boston 5-4 in the 7th. The White Sox already just 4 back after beating Toronto. Oakland over Cleveland 10-7. Seattle knocked off the Yankees, and Kansas City leading Milwaukee 8-4 in the 8th inning. Well, halfway through last season, kicker Donald Igwe-Buike's life was turned upside down, facing charges of heroin smuggling from his native Nigeria. Iggy was found not guilty and has been welcomed back here with open arms.